Alrighty. Here comes Mitch Bratt. Looks like his third appearance of the season. He's been kind of on and off. Didn't have the best performance in LA, but should have a much better opponent with the Athletics. Here's the thing about the Athletics. I know they don't have the best lineup, but their 1-2-3 hitters, Jacob Wilson, Soderstrom, and Shea Langeliers. If they can get on, like, they can do enough damage, so you got to be careful with just them alone, in my opinion. The rest of the lineup, I will admit, not that threatening, but really just those three guys. But still gotta be careful. Can't put men on base. Gotta get weak contact still. All right, looks like Jacob Wilson ready to go. Mitch Brad is ready to go. And we are underway at Chase Field. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a first pitch swing, though. That's kind of a rip. It's a long foul ball out of play, but man, he was a little more in front of that. That could have been dangerous. That's going to be strike one, though. And Jacob Wilson, he's honestly a really solid hitter. He's just been injured a lot this season. Just hasn't really been able to be 100%. But when he's good to go, he's not bad at all. That's going to be ball one, high and outside. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch to Wilson. That's going to be pretty similar location. Slider up and away for ball two. Two balls, one strike. Here's the pitch to Wilson. Another pitch in that kind of same location, just up and away. That time a fastball, but it's now going to be three balls and one strike to start off with Wilson. So hopefully Brad can settle down a little bit. Just go right at him. Here's three balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. That's going to be a rip. But Wilson just gets a bit under it. Walshman will be under it in the left field. That's going to be the first out. And that contact looked pretty similar to that foul ball he swung on the first pitch. Just sounded pretty scary off the bat, but just got a bit under it. And with one down, it's going to bring up Tyler Soderstrom, who, in my opinion, is absolutely the scariest hitter in this lineup. When he's on, he will take you deep in a heartbeat. And that's going to be the first pitch. First pitch slur. It's looked like it was inside, but says it clipped the inside of the zone. It's going to be 0-1 the count. Soderstrom has 16 home runs this season. That's going to be a outside slur for ball one. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a line shot right up the middle, but Perdoma's going to be there luckily. Fields that cleanly, throws it first. That's going to be at number 2. That was a shot off the bat. Brad had to get out of the way of that one, but I think the piece of the bat broke too. Yeah. Oh yeah. A big chunk of the bat was flying at Mitch Brad right there. Pretty scary, but luckily it gets out the way okay, and we get the out, so it's gonna be 2 outs with Shea Langeliers. And with that being said, 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to Shea. He's gonna foul that one off. 22 home runs, 50 RBIs. He is absolutely dominant hitting wise at the catcher position. I believe he was also an all-star this year, so it's going to be no balls or 1 strike to Shea, though. That's going to be fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes. And like I said, with these first 3 hitters in the lineup, Wilson, Soderstrom, and Langeliers, if you're Mitch Brad, you definitely just want to get out of this inning as quick as possible. Just get those 3 hitters out as quick as possible, honestly. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, though. It's going to miss outside with that changeup. It's going to be ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Brad. That's gonna just hit the outside up and away. Shea's able to foul that one off to remain a 1-2 count. And we'll do 1-2 again. Brad sets. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be well outside with the changeup. It's gonna be ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And on deck is Colby Thomas, the right fielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be upstairs on the fastball. Going to be ball 3 to make it a full count. And right now, Langelier just not giving Brad an easy at bat right here. But it's going to be full count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 4. And Shea made him work, and that was the payoff. It's going to be a 2-out walk as Athletics have runner on first base to 2 outs. And as I mentioned, after the first 3 hitters, the Athletics lineup is definitely not as scary. I mean, still, MLB hitters, you don't want to mess around with them, but definitely not as threatening as the first 3 hitters, in my opinion. That's going to be a first pitch swinging. He hacks and misses at that one for strike 1. Thomas batting 206 this year, so kind of surprising he's in the cleanup spot. But here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to miss upstairs on the slide for ball 1. And the Red Sox are going crazy. I just got a notification that Caleb Durbin just hit a go-ahead 8th inning home run as the Red Sox win their 14th straight. That's insane. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a pop-up. And Perdomo's going to call off Vargas, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Other than the walk, nothing too threatening in that inning. Nice job by Brett. And we're going to go to the bottom of the first 0-0 ballgame. As I mentioned, though, the Red Sox winning their 14th straight game is just insane. Just seeing where they came from in terms of just how I think they're 3 games above 500 now. Just seeing how far they were from being at 500, and now I believe they're in the 3rd spot for the wild card. I mean, it's amazing, honestly. It makes me, seeing the D-backs like 4 or 5 games back in the wild card spot, just like and just not having the highest hopes. It just kind of seems stupid if the Red Sox can do that. And it looks like Jeffrey Springs, the 33-year-old left-hander, will be pitching for the Athletics today, and he is 3-9 this year with a 6.08 ERA. So just not a great year for Jeffrey Springs. I'm not saying it's going to be an automatic win today, but the D-backs need to capitalize on this kind of pitcher. They cannot give him a good game. You know, just make him come to you. And with that being said, Ketel Marte's going to swing at the first pitch. Not the greatest location, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field as Thomas is under for the first pitch. It's going to be a one pitch out, and you guys could tell didn't hear me on that one because that was not what I was talking about. But as I mentioned, the reality is Jeffrey Springs, he's going to give you a meatball. I mean, there's a reason why that ERA is so high. And so just wait for him to come to you. Don't force it. You know, you're going to get your pitch. So if the D-backs can do that, we have a good chance of putting up some runs today, but we'll see. That's going to be a first pitch strike to Perdomo, though. He's going to call time. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch to Perdomo. That's going to be very inside on the fastball for ball one. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. Ooh, that's just going to clip the inside of the zone. I think it just clipped it. Gonna be now one balls and two strikes. That was honestly a pretty good call by the ump there. Springs ahead right now, though. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be upstairs, but somehow Perdomo's going to get a knock into right field. Very similar to that one Moreno hit the other day, where just a very high fastball, and somehow, they're both able to get a nice knock into right field. As we now have a runner on first base, one out. That's going to bring up Tim Tawa, who's batting in the third spot today. And even with Carroll, being injured, unfortunately, I still don't mind Tawa. It's not like, okay, I guess we have to put Tawa in this third spot. Like, there's a reason why he's batting third today. And it's because he's been absolutely mashing ever since he's been called up recently again. You had the series in LA. First game of the St. Louis series. It's going to be 1-1 so far, though, to Tawa. This is definitely not a weird decision by Torrey, so I'm with it. One ball, one strike to Tim Tawa, though. Runner on first base, one out. Here's the pitch. Yeah, it's going to be a pickoff to Perdomo. And they're going to say he's out. Oh my. Come on, man. Not already we're doing this. And it looks like Perdomo wants a challenge, but I don't think. Okay, they are challenging. Perdomo, you better be safe on this, man. Especially if you were so enthusiastic about challenging it. Oh, he's safe. He's safe. He didn't even tag him. What are we doing here? Oh my gosh, he didn't even tag him. Even if his view is blocked, like, are you kidding me? You're just assuming he tagged him? Well, should be a pretty easy challenge. Perdomo's gonna remain at first base. Can't believe that, man. This is taking a lot longer than it should, honestly. Thank you. The call's overturned. Perdomo is safe at first. It's still going to be 1 ball, 1 strike to Tawa, 1 out. That would have been a not a great start to this offense if he would have got picked off. And we resume this at bat now. Perdomo with a big lead at first, though. Here's a pitch that's going to be in the dirt on the changeup, ball 2. All right, Tawa's going to be ahead. 2 balls to 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Perdomo's going to go. Here's a throw. He's going to. They got him? I thought he might have just gone in there. I mean, that was a great throw, but and Perdomo had a nice lead. How did he get thrown out? And the D-backs are not going to challenge. Are you kidding me, bro? They got him. They barely got him. Oh my gosh, they just showed the replay. Bro, that is so frustrating. That is such a great throw, though. If that's not a perfect throw, Perdomo's safe easily. That's going to be a foul ball. Gonna make a full count for Tawa, but nonetheless, 2 outs now. That is so unfortunate, man. I guess Shea is an all-star for a reason, right? So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Tawa, though. Here's the full count pitch. That's gonna be a shot to center. Bolte's gonna have to kind of go back to the warning track, but he gets under that with plenty of room before the wall. That's gonna be out number 3. And it's still gonna remain 0-0 as we head to the top of the second. And while we're on this commercial break, I'll look around the league and see what's going down, and especially in the West Division. The Padres lost to the Braves 2-3. Dodgers are down to the Phillies 4-10. Giants are down to the Royals 1-3. So essentially, the rest of the National League West is not looking too hot. And the Rockies are tied with the Nationals, but obviously wild card teams that we're definitely gonna have to keep a lookout on is Miami, St. Louis. Um, and Miami's actually losing to Houston right now, which is very good. And St. Louis is about to start their game against the Angels, so. But nonetheless, we just need to focus on the series. And with the top of the second, the rookies, Kuroda Gower is gonna drive that to left field. And that's gonna be a solo shot. His first major league home run for Joshua Kuroda Gower. And ever since he got called up, he's gotten a pretty good amount of hype, but that's gonna be his first home run of the season. Or his career, I should say. And with that, the A's have a 1-0 lead. That is unfortunate. Okay. I guess I shouldn't be focusing on what's going on around the league. Should be focusing on this game, so. Alright. That's not good. And here comes Jonah Hahn, the DH, in the 6th spot. He takes a ball for the first pitch. That rookie took that for a ride, too. That was a pretty good shot. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jonah. That's gonna be a foul ball to the left. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch to Jonah Heim. That's gonna be a pop-up. Locklear should be able to get under it, and that's gonna be out number 1. Nice bounce back by Brett right there. That being said, it's gonna bring up Tyler White, I believe. Tommy White, my bad. That's gonna be a foul back for Tommy White. This is only his 3rd Major League Baseball game, I believe, so still fairly new ever since being called up. He's down 1 strike, though. Here's a pitch. That's gonna be down low for ball 1. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be fouled back. Strike 2 on the slider. I feel like I jinxed it too. Here's the one ball, 2 strike pitch. That's gonna be a fly ball. Might stay in play. Actually, no, it's gonna get fouled. I feel like I jinxed it because I was talking so much about the first 3 hitters, how they're kind of the only ones you really have to be careful with, and then of course the rookie, in the 5th spot hits a solo shot, his first MLB home run. But if I remember correctly, it also wasn't a great pitch, so 1 ball, 2 strikes out to Tommy White. That's gonna barely gonna foul that one off. We stay alive. One ball, two strikes. That's gonna be a blooper to left field. And Walshman is gonna not be able to get to it. That's gonna be a 1-out single for Tommy White. Maybe I did jinx it. Because I was just about to mention it is unfortunate the injuries that the A's have had. You know, I mean, obviously Nick Kurtz being on the IL is such a huge loss for this team. But I want to say Lawrence Butler is also not healthy right now. Here's the first pitch to Lico Williams. Former ASU Sun Devil. He's playing at second base today. He's down one, or he's up 1-0. I'm sorry. One ball, no strike to Williams. That's gonna be a chopper foul. Sure, Alika Williams has a lot of family. Well, I guess that's only if his family's from Arizona. Maybe, never mind. One ball, one strike to Williams, though. That's gonna be a shot to left. Walshman's going back to the warning track, and he's actually gonna get under this one. Look a bit scary off the bat, but that's a loud out number 2 right there. And it's gonna be 2 outs with a runner on first base. That's gonna bring up Henry Bolte, the center fielder. Almost said Henry Bolt, which I think would also be cool, but let's see if Mitch Bratt can get out of this. Just giving up the home run. Here's the first pitch. And Bolte is going to be first pitch swinging. That's going to be a pop-up. Arenado's going to the wall, and he's just going to have enough space to make the catch. And that's going to be end of the top of the second inning. As Mitch Bratt does give up a solo shot to the rookie, Joshua Grauer, but unless he calms down a bit, gets out of the inning. And we go to the bottom of the second with the A's up 1-0. As I mentioned, this D-backs team, they need to get the springs. There's no excuse for not putting up runs against them, so. Looks like we're going to have Moreno, Vargas, and Arenado to start the second. And I'm definitely glad that Mitch Bratt was able to calm down a bit towards the end, because now he has Wilson, Soderstrom, and Langeliers up to bat at the top of the third. So I'm definitely glad that didn't get any more scary than it needed to be, but now I'm aware. Not just the first 3 hitters that we have to watch out for. And with that being said, as I mentioned, Gabriel Moreno is going to start the bottom of the second. Here's the first pitch from Springs. That's going to be a high fastball for ball 1. And even if the first time through the lineup nothing really happens, fine. But there's no excuse for attacking Springs, at least here in the second time. This is going to be a ground ball to Jacob Wilson. And that's going to be a quick out. Route number 1. And number 5 spot, that's going to be bring up Darmo Vargas. That's going to be a sweeper that's inside for ball 1. Ildemaro. That's like my next challenge, just saying his name right. Ildemaro. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Ildemaro. That's gonna be a very low strike. That was not a strike, but Vargas does not challenge it. It's gonna be 1-1 for Vargas. Ildemaro. Spring sets. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vargas. Here's the pitch. And that's gonna be a shot past the rookie number 44. And that's gonna be a nice base knock for Vargas right there. As it just went past Joshua Kuroda Grower. Thought he might have a shot at that, but 106 miles per hour off the bat, that's going to be a very tough ball to play. As the Diamondbacks now have a runner on first base. Hopefully, does not get thrown out like the last time in the last inning, but this is going to bring up Nolan Arenado, who was a superhero in the game yesterday, tying the game in the bottom of the 8th inning. And I believe he's only 1 hit away from 2,000 hits, so he's very close to a very huge milestone. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be a outside changeup for ball 1. Sorry, I missed that first pitch. It's going to be a 1-1 the count. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Oof, that's going to be a chopper. That's slow to third. They're going to get 1 at 2. And they're going to get the double play. And that's going to be a quick bottom of the 2nd. Oh my gosh, man. That's not a great start, but I thought Arenado might be able to beat it. It was a pretty slow chopper to third base, but with Arenado's speed, doesn't really matter. We are now going to go to the top of the 3rd inning. And it's going to be the top of the lineup for the A's to lead it off. As I mentioned, definitely want to watch out for these next 3 hitters, but with that home run by the rookie, the 5 spot, it probably doesn't matter anymore. Let's be honest, even though Mitch Bratt hasn't pitched much, he has a 6.0 ERA. I mean, he hasn't looked great either, so it might just be a battle of the bats today. All right, we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Both teams have 2 hits apiece. As I mentioned, that's going to bring up Jacob Wilson, who was pretty aggressive in that first at bat. Had some nice pieces of contact. Just got a little under it, but and Wilson steps in the box now. Took a little bit of time, but Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be upstairs on the curveball for ball one. It looks like they're taking a look at Ryder Helfrich, the first round pick for the D-backs. Here's the next pitcher, Wilson. That's going to be a fly ball. Going to go foul though. I think they're talking to the scouting, some guy in the scouting department, talking about the draft. So that's why they're bringing up the Arkansas catcher they just drafted. It's going to be a 1-ball, 1-strike though to Jacob Wilson. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot to left. Please get foul. Wilson is making excellent contact. He is just way out in front of it. That was definitely a scarier one. That if he would have straightened that one out, that would have at least went to the wall. It might have just gotten over it. So it's gonna be 1-ball, 2 strikes, I believe, to Wilson. Yeah. Brad sets. Here's the pitch. And that's gonna be a chopper foul in the slurve. We're gonna do 1-2 again. And for the scoreboard, I really it feels weird putting athletics in Arizona, but I looked it up. Technically, the Athletics are not obviously part of Oakland anymore, and even though they play in Sacramento, they're not the Sacramento Athletics. They're just playing there. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's going to be a chopper up the middle. This is going to be a tough play for Perdomo. Wilson's speed. He's going to get there, and Wilson is just going to beat it out. I thought Perdomo might have barely gotten him by a step, but that looked really close. Let's see the replay. No challenge. Wow. That was really close. I don't know if there would have been enough evidence to overturn it. That's how close it was. But I thought Perdomo might have gotten him. But it's going to be a runner on first base with no outs. Here comes Tyler Soderstrom. That's going to be a first pitch swing to the right field to Barossa. As that gets to the infield. It's now runners on first and second with no outs. Just like that. Oh boy. And as I mentioned, they play in Sacramento, but they're not the Sacramento A's. And then I know they're gonna eventually play in Las Vegas, but they still, I looked it up, they still haven't really adopted that. Like, they technically are just the Athletics right now. So I know it kind of looks weird in the scoreboard, but it felt weird putting a city that really wasn't associated with them anymore, or just not yet, you know? But nonetheless, that's gonna bring up Shea Langoliers with runners on first and second with no outs. This could be bad. It's gonna be an inside changeup for ball one. He walked in his first plate appearance, so he's already given Brad a tough time. And if you're a Brad, you just do not want to give him anything good to hit. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's gonna be a curveball low as Brad is doing just that. It's gonna be 2 balls, no strikes. Oh man. This could be the game where, we might want to send Brad if he doesn't perform well. And we might make a move of him because I understand struggling against the Dodgers, but struggling against the A's, especially with the injuries they have, it shouldn't be you shouldn't be giving up a ton of runs to them, honestly. Not sure what happened, but that's kind of taking a while for this next pitch to come about, but looks like we're ready now. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Ooh, that just clips the inside on the fastball. Great pitch right there, though. It's going to be 2 balls, 1 strike. We need a ground ball right here. Need a ground ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot down the line. Gonna get foul. Great contact right there, but now gonna be 2 balls, 2 strikes. The big at bat right here. And on deck is gonna be Colby Thomas, the right fielder. As I mentioned, kind of surprising that he's in the cleanup spot with that average. I think he was at 206 to start the game. Now it's probably lower, but 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch right here. That's gonna be fouled off. Gonna be another 2 ball, 2 strike pitch right here. And the count will remain the same after the foul ball. Shea looks to just protect right here, honestly. Anything close. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a slurve right down the middle, and it's going to be another fouled ball. It's fouled back. Shea is battling. Two balls, 2 strikes once again. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss upstairs on the fastball. It's going to be a full count. If he puts Langoliers on base right now, it's going to be very bad if no outs. Big pitch right here, full count. Here we go. Here's the pitch. That's going to be strike 3. What a great pitch by Brad, though. He gets the fastball in there, and Shea is not able to catch up to that. Falls upwards away, but lands in the strike zone. A pitch that Shea has to swing at, but just cannot catch up to the fastball. That's going to be out number 1. Big at number 1 right there, especially with that kind of hitter at the plate. Could have been a lot worse, so. That's going to bring up Colby Thomas, a cleanup hitter in right field. Here's the first pitch to Thomas. That's going to be a fastball upstairs. Looks like he checks his swing, though, for ball 1. And in Thomas's first at bat, he popped out to first, so. Yeah, he's batting 204 right now, so. Definitely a batter you want to get out if you can. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's going to be high and away as Brad is. I mean, his delivery is so awkward. Literally, after he throws a pitch, he literally jumps in the air. And after that pitch, it literally looked like he almost fell over. Like, there's got to be a way where he doesn't have to do that, right? Because I feel like eventually he's just gonna like fall down or land awkwardly and just hurt himself. And it probably also affects the delivery of his pitch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's gonna be fouled off his foot. I thought he was about to take a tumble, Mitch Bratt. I mean, obviously he's a major league ball player at this point. I mean, like it works, but interesting though. It's very interesting. 2 balls, 1 strike to Thomas. Runners on first and second on 1 out. A double play would be huge right here. Here's the pitch to Thomas. It's going to be inside for ball 3 on the fastball. Brad is at 50 pitches so far with Joshua Kuroda-Grauer on deck who hit the home run. Definitely want to get a double play if you can here. And that's going to hit Thomas on the hand. That is not good. I mean, Brad was behind in the count, but basically just walked Thomas. Except with a lot of pain. As Thomas is going to get his hand taking a look at. Does that look pretty rough? Ooh, looks like it just hit him on the left wrist. That does not feel good for sure. But now it's going to be bases loaded with 1 out. Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, The rookie up to bat. This you gotta get it. You gotta get him out here. You cannot let him do more damage. Here comes Kaplan to talk to Brat on the mound. Maybe a little bit before this next pitch happens. Alrighty. And Joshua Kuroda steps into the box. This is a big at bat right here. Not just because the bases are loaded, but the kid hit his first solo shot, his first home run. So it's gonna be a first pitch strike on the curveball. Way to answer back right there by Brat. No balls, one strike to count. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a fly ball. I think it's gonna get foul though. It's gonna be no balls, two strikes. I'm not sure what the speed is looking like for Kuroda. I'm not sure how well a double play, how well that's gonna work out, but nonetheless, 0-2 is the count. Big pitch right here. That's gonna be a foul to the right side as he's battling. Come on, Brat. You gotta get out of this. You gotta get out of this. Because now Kuroda is just gonna swing at anything close to the zone. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's gonna be not near the zone, but he's gonna take a swing at it anyway. Fouls that one off. The high fastball. Still gonna be 0-2. No balls, two strike once again. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a strike three. Swing and miss on the slurve. What a great pitch by Brat. Just clips the bottom of the zone. We had to take a hack at it, but just not prepared for that pitch at all. That's gonna be out number 2 on the strikeout. Way to answer back after giving up that home run to him. But it's still bases loaded. Not out of it just yet. Here comes Jonah Hine. And that's going to be a first pitch swing. Going to be foul ball on the line drive. Nice contact by Hine, just foul. Come on, Brat. Jonah Heim 0 for 1. He fouled out in the second inning. Come on. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a fly ball. Barosa's going to run. And he's going to have a play at it. That's going to be out number 3. What a job by Mitch Bratt to get out of that. I thought maybe 1 or 2 runs may have been given up, but somehow Mitch Bratt is able to calm down. And he's able to throw up a 0 as the A's still lead at 1-0 as we hit to the bottom of the third. All right, these D-backs bats need to get going. I know I mentioned that I'll give them a pass the first time through the lineup, and then like after that they need to just tear it up. But now that the A's are kind of hitting, kind of want them to start now. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks like we're gonna have, I believe, Locklear. Actually, I don't. It is Locklear. It is gonna be Locklear, Waldschmidt, Barosa, Arenado. He hit into a double play. And while we're on a commercial break, take a water break. Alrighty. And that is going to bring up Tyler Locklear. I believe yesterday was his first game since being called up, and he had a pretty solid game at the plate. Definitely had some big at bats towards the end to help the D-backs come back. So here's the first pitch to Locklear, though. It's going to miss upstairs. High and away. It's going to be ball one. Yeah, yesterday he was 1 for 3 for an RBI, so he definitely contributed a lot. That's going to be another high fastball. It's going to miss for ball two. I don't know. I feel like this bottom of the lineup is going to perform. I don't know why. 2-0 count. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a rip, but right to the rookie third baseman. That's going to be a throw to first. That's going to be on number one. Not bad contact, but just right at the third baseman. And that's going to bring up Ryan Waldschmidt, who also contributed a good amount to the win yesterday at the plate. He got on base when he needed to, and here's the first pitch to Waldschmidt. It's going to be an inside sweeper for ball one. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a sweeper that just clips the top of the zone. It just got in there for strike one. Wow. Jeffrey Springs, the pitcher for the A's right now, has given up the most home runs this season as a starting pitcher, I believe. That is... So essentially, if we don't hit a home run, they're going to win this game. Like, I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be 2-1, though. Here's the pitch to Waldschmidt. That's going to be a big hack at the low changeup for strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Waldschmidt. That's going to be a swing and miss on the outside changeup. Not looking good. His first time through the lineup, so going to be out number 2. And that's now going to bring up right fielder tonight, Jorge Barosa, who came in the game yesterday for Corbin Carroll, scored the game-winning run to win the game. And is also going to get a lot more playing time as long as Corbin is out. Going to be a first pitch strike. Hopefully Corbin is not out for too long, so we'll see. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Barosa. He's going to put down a bunt, pull it back at the last second for ball one. But at the same time, whatever Carroll needs to recover and kind of get his mind right, you know, it's not even just the injury. He's also just been in a major slump, so he might have had the day off no matter what. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Barosa. That's going to be fouled into the glove of the catcher. Strike two. One ball, 2 strikes to Barosa. That's going to be a low changeup as Barosa takes that. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Barosa. That's going to be fouled back. We'll do 2-2 again. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Barosa's battling. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a pop up, but it's just going to get out of play behind the backstop for another 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Barosa. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot to left. But once again, going to get out of play. That one went pretty deep, honestly. Kind of to the bullpen. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, though, as Barosa just making Springs work, which I don't mind at all. Once the pinch count pops up, I'll let you guys know. It looks like this is going to be the 35th pitch for Springs, so Springs is still doing very well. Once again, 2-2. That's going to be another foul ball. As Barosa is just not giving Springs an easy out right here. And the count remains the same. Another pitch to Barosa. Another foul ball. As that one fouls, that's a pop up to the right side, gets out of play. As whatever at this point, whatever happens with this at bat, just a great at bat from Barosa. It's going to be the 10th pitch now. 6 foul balls for Barosa. Here's another pitch to him. And that's going to miss outside for the cutter for ball 3. What a great at bat for Barosa in the 9th spot. Love to get that kind of production from your 9th spot hitter. Here's the full count pitch. Let's see what he can do. That's going to miss inside the slider as Barosa works a walk. What an amazing at bat for Jorge Barosa. As that is just like absolutely one of the worst things you can have as a starting pitcher. Just throw so many pitches to a guy and then still ends up on base no matter what, especially, with the walk. It's now going to be a runner on first base with... I'm sorry, I did not update the outs there. It's 2 outs. My bad on that. That's going to bring up Ketel Marte. Well, I was not impressed with the first pitch swinging he was doing in his first at-bat. Not a great location to be swinging at, but hopefully he calmed down a bit. Sees that we have a runner on first base. Kind of takes that into account. But nonetheless, way to work the pinch count on Barosa's part. That was awesome. All right, here comes Ketel Marte. Here's a pitch. Gonna miss downstairs on the changeup. Come on, Marte. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball, but right to the third baseman once again. And that's going to be a nice throw to first base for the 3rd out. As Joshua Kuroda-Grauer just been very busy at the hot corner today. As that's going to end the 3rd inning. A great at bat from Barosa, but nonetheless, it's still going to be 1-0 A's as we head to the top of the 4th inning. All right, like I said, I give the D-backs a pass that first time through the lineup. Perdomo got on base with a hit. Vargas got on base with a hit. Barosa had a nice walk there, but now we just need to tear it up the next time through. So, or now that Ketel just started at the top of the lineup again, but yeah, we're now gonna go to the top of the 4th inning. All right. For the top of the fourth inning, I believe it's going to be Tommy White leading it off. Yep. Had a nice base hit in his first at bat, but here's the first pitch to Tommy. That's going to be a first pitch swing right to center field. As he's had great contact this whole game. He's now 2 for 2. That's going to be a runner on first base to start off the top of the fourth. That's going to bring up Alika Williams, the former Sun Devil. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be upstairs on the slurve. And Brad is at 60 pitches, so pitch count's getting up there. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Going to be a pop-up. Behind home plate, that'll get out of play. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Brad's going to go over to first to keep Tommy White close. The A's have not won a series since the middle of June? Oh boy. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Alika. Gonna be a fly ball. Or pop-up, I should say, to Perdomo. That's not going deep at all. That's gonna be out number 1. It's gonna bring up Henry Bolte, center fielder. Alright, here's the first pitch to Bolte. Gonna be a strike on the fastball. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. There goes Tom. He's gonna go. Here comes the throw from Gabby, though. They're gonna get him. What a great throw by Gabby. Not even close at all, honestly. And I feel like Tommy White doesn't have the best speed, so unless he got like an insane jump, kind of surprised he went on that. Oh yeah. And that was a tough throw by Gabby. Not a great pitch to kind of get that throw off of, but that was not even close, respectfully. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. And it's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. All right. One ball, 2 strikes to Bolte. Is it Bolte? That's going to just miss outside. Moreno's going to challenge that, but I think he's going to lose that one, unfortunately. Just a bit outside. Yeah, not very close, honestly. And Gabby's usually pretty good at those, so I'll give him a pass on that. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch to Bolte. That's going to be fouled back. Bolte. Okay, it's Bolte. And Jacob Wilson is on deck. He's 1 for 2. Deuces is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Brad. That's going to be a swing and a miss on the slurve. And Brad has definitely been looking better ever since that home run. As that's going to be the end of the top of the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth as the A's still lead 1-0. It looks like Perdomo, Tawa, Moreno hitting in this inning. All right, here comes Perdomo for his second at bat of the game. He unfortunately got thrown out at second base. Oh, I guess Lawrence Butler is healthy. He just came in for Colby Thomas in right field. That's gonna be a fly ball for Perdomo, but Soderstrom's just gonna get under it in front of the warning track. That's gonna be out number one. So is Lawrence Butler not a starter? Or is he just having an off day? I'm not sure. I feel like at the start of the season he was a starter. And he's kinda had an off year. But nonetheless, that's gonna be a first out on that Perdomo flyout. And here comes Tim Tawa, who's 0 for 1 so far. Gonna be a first pitch strike on the slider. That's in there. Like I mentioned, gotta get these bats going. No excuse against Jeffrey Springs. No disrespect to him, but the stats do not lie. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a high fastball for ball one. And here's the pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's gonna be fouled off into the glove for strike two. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a fly ball. And Butler's gonna get under that in right field, unfortunately. That's gonna be out number two. So far, the D-backs just not getting great contact. Here comes Gabriel Moreno. Grounded out in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. And here's the first pitch to Gabby. Gonna be an outside sweeper for ball one. One ball, no strike. Here's the pitch. Gonna miss. Actually, just gonna clip the bottom of the zone apparently on the changeup. Pretty close, but it's gonna be strike one. Gonna be a 1-1 count as Moreno's gonna check that one foul. Yeah, I got you, Potato. No worries. You playing Diamond Dynasty right now, or just franchise? It's gonna be 1 ball, 2 strikes for Moreno. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a way upstairs for ball 2 on the fastball. And Jeffrey Springs at 50 pitches total right now. Just getting quick outs. Other than the Barossa at bat, it's been quick outs. Here's the 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a foul ball down the line. Nice, man. Yeah, I don't blame you for not watching the game or really paying much attention to it. It's kind of hard to do both, especially against on a ranked. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch to Moreno. That's going to be another chopper that goes foul. And we'll do 2 balls, 2 strikes once again as Moreno's battling. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss upstairs for ball 3. Great take by Moreno. Gonna be a full count now. And if you're Moreno, you just need to get on base any way you can. Tie that game up. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's going to be a pop fly though to the shortstop. Jacob Wilson's going to get under that, no issue. And that's going to be out number 3. As that's going to end the bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th. And the A's still claim a 1-0 lead. It is so unfortunate, man. I am very surprised at the D-backs after scoring 8 runs yesterday. I know it kind of came late in the ball game, but nonetheless, we were able to put up 8 runs, and now we are struggling against Jeffrey Springs with a 6-point-something ERA and the league leader in home runs given up or something like that. It's kind of unacceptable. I'm not gonna lie so far. Ay, ay, ay. And that's going to bring up the top of the lineup for the A's. I don't know how much longer Mitch Bratt's going to go in this game. If I heard correctly, he doesn't have a lot of leeway when it comes to going late in the ball game. So I think he's in the 60 range when it comes to pitch count. So I'm not really sure how good the A's bullpen is, though. That's something that's going to be interesting depending on when Springs comes out of this ball game. We are back in the top of the 5th inning. The A's have 5 hits apiece. D-backs only 2. As offensively for the D-backs, it has been a very slow game. Looking at around the league, Miami's still losing to Houston, which is good. The Phillies beat the Dodgers 10-7. The Cardinals are beating the Angels right now 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees beat Pittsburgh. Cubs lose to Detroit. Nationals have a lead against the Rockies right now in the top of the 9th. And as I mentioned, I want to bring it up again. Boston Red Sox on a 14 win streak right now. That is incredible. That is incredible. I know Hogdale is just... I think I saw a clip of his latest video. He's ecstatic and he has every reason to be. And looking at the wildcard race for the D-backs, Only a half game back, and Jacob Wilson gives a shot to the left field. And first pitch swinging, that's going to be a solo shot for Jacob Wilson, man. You know, he was very aggressive in that first at bat, and he finally got a hold of one that he's able to straighten out a bit. And that's a shot to left field, 399 feet. And just like that, the A's have a 2-0 lead over the D-backs. That is. And now Mitch Brad may not get pulled just because of the pitch count, but just because now of the lead, unfortunately. Because now the D-backs bats are really gonna have to wake up if they want to come back in this game. I mean, if you have Jacob Wilson, I mean, he's not a terrible hitter. As here comes Soderstrom, he takes a strike, but he's definitely not a home run hitter. You know, you still have guys like Soderstrom and Langeliers to deal with. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Soderstrom. That's going to be outside for ball one. So unfortunate, man. And it's going to be 1-1 to Soderstrom. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a swing and a miss for strike two. And it's just so unfortunate. I mean, all the talk was about Jeffrey Springs giving up the most home runs in the league. And on the other side, Brad's giving up 2 solo shots. And that's how the A's are winning right now. So that's baseball for you. There's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes to Soderstrom. That's going to be a shot. As actually, he's just going to get under it. Barrosa's going to get under it in right field. That's going to be out number 1. It looked good off the bat, not going to lie. But Soderstrom just got a bit under it. All right. And it looks like the D-backs will get someone up in the bullpen, it looks like. As Brad is now at 73 pitches when it comes to the pitch count. And it's going to be a first pitch foul ball for Langeliers. Lang? I feel like I'm saying that right, but still kind of not that confident. It's going to be no balls, 1 strike to him, though. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 1 on the fastball. And it looks like Juan Burgos is going to be warming up for the D-backs, who they just called up after sending Philip Abner down. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be upstairs for ball 2. Looks like Burgos is going to get a chance not long after being called up. And 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a pop-up. And Moreno might have a shot at it. Just going to get out of play, though, for strike 2. And, you know, even if we lose game 1 and end up winning the series, it's against a team like this, we shouldn't be losing games, especially when it comes to great pitching. Like, and honestly, this should be God forbid this from happening, but this should be a higher scoring game for the A's as well. I mean, Mitch Brad went into this game with a 6.0 ERA. So both pitchers having that kind of ERA, this should be I feel like both teams should have at least 4 to 5 runs in this game. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. So here's a pitch. That's going to just hit the top of the zone on the slurve. Great pitch right there. That's going to be strike 3. And that is going to be the second out of the top of the 5th. And that's going to bring up Lawrence Butler, who just came in the game recently after Colby Thomas got hit by a pitch in the wrist. Looked pretty painful, honestly. Here comes Lawrence Butler. I'm going to have to look at his stats. He's batting 193 this season, so he may just not be a starter anymore. He's batting 193 with a 581 OPS. Yeah. He's going to be down 0-1, though, after the foul ball. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a line drive. just past the glove of Vargas, and that's going to be a base hit. I thought Vargas might have a play on that, but just got past his glove. That's going to be a runner on first base with 2 outs. That's going to be the rookie Joshua Kuroda Grauer up to bat, who had the solo shot earlier in the game to get the scoring started for the A's. He's 1 for 2 though. Here's the first pitch, and an awkward swing from the rookie right there. Did that get a piece of him? Where did that get him? Oh. Oh. If you are a man, you know where it just hit him, and that looked ugly. Oh. He is down. I don't blame him. Oh, that did not look good. I mean, even if you're wearing a cup, bro, that does. If you play baseball, you know that does not help much. Let's be honest. And he is still on the ground in a lot of pain. That is tough. This could be a while before the next pitch, I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping he was wearing a cup. The Bob Brailing for the D-backs just is talking about how there's a good amount of players who actually don't wear cups. Which I don't know about that one. And he is still down on the ground. I will give an update when there's more action going on, but yeah, I don't blame him. All right, Joshua's gonna get up to his feet. Fortunately, still hunched over. See what happens. Might just have to walk it off and be okay. And he is grimacing as he's trying to walk it off and jog it off. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And yeah, that bench is going to be looking pretty dry if he has to come out of this game. Colby Thomas already got pulled. Looks like he is going to stay in the game, though. Credit to him. That's a tough one right there. Yeah, everyone better give him a standing ovation. I'm not going to lie. So he deserves it. And we will now continue the at-bat. And it's going to be no balls, 1 strike. Mitch Brad about to throw his 82nd pitch of the ball game. Two outs though, so could get out of this inning pretty quickly. No balls, 1 strike. As I mentioned, here's the pitch. That's going to be a big hack at the changeup. Comes up empty for strike 2. And no balls, 2 strikes for the rookie. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Just chopped that one foul. Big E I'm a big Diamondbacks fan, so I am always rooting for them when it comes to streaming these games. Um, but I'm also just getting started to this commentary channel where I'm live streaming the games and commentating them. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's gonna be a shot to the right center. That's gonna get through the gap. Lawrence Butler, he's rounding third, and he's gonna get held up. Actually, it's gonna be runners on the corners. Wow. After taking a shot like that, Joshua Kuroda is still able to get a big base hit and keeps the inning going. As I believe that's going to be Mitch Bratt's last batter there. It's now going to be runners on the corners with 2 outs. As I was saying though, I'm still pretty early when it comes to this channel, when it comes to streaming these games and just commentating them live. I'm trying to get better and better. So honestly, as long as the games are pretty competitive and fun to watch, that's all I care about in the beginning. But being a D-backs fan, I definitely want them to win, especially with the National League wildcard race heating up. You know, every game counts, every game matters. Um, I will say though, I do like the Athletics. You know, it is very unfortunate that they're hurt and they can't play to the full potential that they can. I like a lot of their hitters. I like Jacob Wilson. I like Soderstrom. Obviously Nick Kurtz. Um, I like Jacob Wilson a lot because I don't know if he's from Arizona, but he went to GCU, which is a big university in the Phoenix location, in the Phoenix area. Um, yeah, to answer your question, definitely going for the Diamondbacks. Is that's going to bring in a new pitcher for the Diamondbacks that's still going to be runners on the corners with 2 outs as the A's have a chance to do more damage here. Oh, man. And the rookie, Joshua Kuroda just comes through again. That was a blooper. He went oppo and just hit it to where they weren't. And as I mentioned, Juan Burgos, he was warming up in the D-backs bullpen, and he's gonna get a chance to appear in a ball game after being called up not too long ago. And he did pitch recently, earlier in the season, actually, June 26th. He had 1 appearance. The count is gonna reset on the scoreboard, and that's gonna bring up Jonah Heim, whose first pitch swinging. He's gonna chop that one foul for strike 1. Come on, Burgos. You got to get us out of this here. Cannot give up more runs to the A's. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be upstairs. Looked like it just might have clipped the top of the zone, but the D-backs are not going to challenge that. It's going to be 1-1. The big at-bat right here. On deck is Tommy White, who's just crushed the ball so far. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a ground ball just down the line for another foul ball. Going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes. And with the way the D-backs have been hitting so far, if it gets any worse than a 2-0 lead, I'm not. I know they just came back down 0-7 yesterday, but not looking good, man. It's gonna be 1 ball, 2 strikes though. Burgos is set. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a pop-up though. And Gabby might have a shot at it. He pulls the mask off, and that's gonna be out number 3. Great job by Burgos, just coming in, getting the quick out. And that's going to be the end of the top of the 5th as the D-backs come up to bat. Still down 2-0, but Burgos holds the lead. Or doesn't give up more runs, I should say. We head to the bottom of the 5th. believe. I'm actually not sure who's up to bat right now for the D-backs. I want to say it's Vargas, Arenado, Locklear. Going back off what you said about Diamond Dynasty, I will say, I want to say it was either MLB 21. Maybe I think 23 I played a bit. I used to really love playing ranked on Diamond Dynasty, or just online in general, but the thing about me, and maybe this goes for a lot of players, but if I do not play the game consistently, I am atrocious when it comes to getting the PSI on the ball. Like I just cannot click on and flick it to where the ball is going. Here's the first pitch to Vargas. That's gonna be strike one. And so I just don't play the game that consistently anymore to be able to just be that good to play online. So if I do play Diamond Dynasty, it's pure just offline mode, grinding against the CPU and doing programs that way. Audio was glitching for a second. Okay, we're good. Gonna be a 1-1 count to Vargas though. Here's a pitch to him. That's gonna be a swing and a miss on the changeup. Here's a pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's gonna be a shot to center field, but it's gonna be right at Bolte. Didn't have to move much. And that's gonna be out number 1, unfortunately. Nolan Arenado still 1 hit shy of 2,000. He's 0 for 1 so far, though he grounded into a double play in his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to Nolan. That's going to be a strike right down the middle on the fastball, strike one. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low and away for ball 1. Good take there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Gonna miss upstairs. Nowhere close on the slider for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Gonna be a chopper foul. It's gonna make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Jeffrey Spring still doing pretty decent on the pitch count at 62 pitches. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Gonna be a foul ball. No one's battling though. He's hit a couple of foul balls. We'll do 2-2 again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot down the line. That's going to be a line drive to left field. And Nolan Arenado is going to have his 2,000th hit. As that's going to be a 1-out double for the D-backs. As they get something going in the bottom of the 5th inning. Looking to capitalize. Congratulations to Nolan Arenado. A big milestone for him. As once again, that is his 2000th hit of his career. Love to see it for the guy. Just an excellent ball player, future Hall of Famer. And that was some great exit velocity on that hit. No doubt about it, going all the way to the wall. And just like that, the D-backs have a runner in scoring position for their potential first run of the ballgame. Attaboy, Nolan. As Nolan Arenado gets a standing ovation, well deserved. As it's now the tying run is being brought to the plate as Tyler Locklear steps in. Here's the first pitch. He's first pitch swinging. Not great location, honestly. That's going to be a fly ball to Bolte. I don't know what that. And Arizona fans are going to be booing him. As I don't know why he swung at that first pitch. That was not a great pitch to swing at. And it's now going to be 2 outs after the fly out to center. And just like that, Ryan Waldschmidt, the last chance in this inning to potentially do something. Hopefully he doesn't swing at the first pitch unless it's good. But here's the first pitch. That's going to be down low for a sweeper that misses. Going to be ball 1. Waldschmidt, he's 0 for 1 for a strikeout. Looking to just get on base here, potentially. Get a run in. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a big hack at the low changeup. Misses at that one. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. It's going to be upstairs. High fastball. It's going to be ball 2. Two balls, one strike. Waldschmidt's ahead. Here's the pitch. Going to be an outside changeup. Misses low and away for ball 3. And Waldschmidt well ahead here. Great opportunity to keep this inning going. Three balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss, though. Change up in the zone, just could not get a piece of it. It's going to be strike 2. It's going to be a full count now. This is a big at-bat right here. Anything close, Waldschmidt. Here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be called strike 3 on the inside fastball. It just clipped the edge of the zone. Thought he might challenge it, but honestly, I think he would have lost. I think it was very borderline, but it just clipped it. And that's going to be strike 3, unfortunately, as Waldschmidt goes down looking. And that's going to take us to the top of the 6th inning, as the A's are still up 2-0. Once again, the lone positive of that half inning was Arenado getting his 2000th hit of his career. Other than that, D-backs come up short of a runner in scoring position. And scoreboard still remains the same. And the Athletics have 8 hits in this game. Definitely the opposite of what I thought it would be, but that's going to bring up Tommy White, who is 2 for 2, I believe. Who's just been crushing the ball in this game. He's going to be ahead 1-0 to start off this at bat. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss. Go all the way back to the backstop. 2 balls, no strikes. Burgos is set. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Gonna just clip the top of the zone. Strike 1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Gonna also, this time clip the inside of the zone. Low and inside on the cutter. It's gonna be 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Alika Williams, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Gonna be a fly ball. I think it's just gonna get out of play. And the count remains the same. Alright, 2 balls, 2 strikes once again. Here's the pitch. Ooh, and Tommy fouls that one off his foot. That does not feel good. Gonna have to walk that one off. Definitely probably not feeling as bad as teammate Joshua was feeling, but still not a great feeling nonetheless. I'll have to walk that one off. Alright, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Once again, here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball. Two balls, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. Burgos sets. Tommy's battling. Here's another 2-2 pitch. This time it's going to be a ground ball through the hole between the shortstop and third base, and that's going to be a single, as Tommy White is now 3 for 3. His bat is hot today right now. It's going to be a runner on first base with no outs. Here comes Alika Williams, who is 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to him. He's going to try laying down a bunt, but it's going to foul that one. Foul that one off right in front of him. And yeah, Potato, if you ever end up putting a parlay on the D-backs in the future, here's the 0-1 pitch. Ooh! Oh no. Please tell me that did not get his jaw. Alika Williams just took a pitch to the jaw. I don't know if the helmet was able to protect him though. It might have just got the bottom of his chin though. I think it just grazed. It might have grazed his throat a little bit. Ooh, that could have been a lot worse. So I think he's doing okay. That looks very scary, I'm not gonna lie. He looks okay though. I think if anything it might have grazed his throat. It didn't get solid contact, but yeesh. Now it's going to be runners on first and second with no outs. But I do have D-backs TV for the MLB TV portion of the app, and so my plan is to, as long as the games are not on Apple TV or Peacock, um, my plan is to stream myself watching the games and then commentate them. So if you do end up putting a parlay in the D-backs in the future, um, definitely feel free to check out the stream, and I'll try to do my best at commentating the game for you. Jeez, man, that was very scary. He's okay for sure, but all right, still gonna be no outs though. But now runners on first and second. That's gonna bring up Bolte in the ninth spot. He's 0 for 2, a foul out and a strikeout. Is the A's with an opportunity to do more damage. And Bolte's gonna lay down a bunt. Burgos is gonna step off and make Tommy White retreat back to second. And look like Bolte might lay down a sacrifice. Let's see if he actually does it. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a bunt to Arenado. That's going to be a perfect bunt. And Arenado is able to get the out at first with a great throw. Barehanded that. But unfortunately, runners do move up to second and third base. It's now going to be runners on second and third with one out. And now the top of the lineup is up with Jacob Wilson, who had the home run earlier in the game. Oh, this is dicey. This is dicey. Come on, Burgos. You got to get out of this. Here's the first pitch. Wilson's going to first pitch swing. Perdomo's coming home on the ground ball to shortstop. And that's going to be a play at the plate, a tag, and that's going to be the second out. What a great throw by Perdomo. That was a slow chopper to shortstop. I didn't know if he'd be able to get it home in time. But luckily, a strong throw from Perdomo gets there in time, and that's going to be the second out and stops the run from scoring. As now, it's still going to be a runner on third base, but at least now there's two outs. Wilson with a very aggressive at bat again, swinging at the first pitch. He's been doing that all game. All right, it's going to be Tyler Soderstrom. Oh, my bad. There is a runner on first base as well. Wilson was safe. So runners on the corners and no outs. I'm sorry, with 2 outs. That's going to be a first pitch sinker that misses. It's going to be 1-0 the count. Come on, Burgos. Big chance to throw up a 0. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball. Vargas just flips it to second, and that's going to be out number 3. Whew. I thought Burgos kind of like grazed it with his glove as it kind of went back to the pitcher, and I thought it might have changed the direction or just slow down the ball, but Vargas was still able to field it cleanly, underhand at the second, and that's going to be out number 3 to still make it a 2-0 ball game. Great job by Burgos to maintain that scoreboard. As we now head to the bottom of the 6th. As once again, just like the game yesterday, the D-backs are running out of time. 4 runs in this game. And the crazy part is, yesterday they were down 0-7. They're only down by 2 in this game. So it's going to be pretty amazing, actually, if they don't come back in this game. Like, or at least score enough runs to, just keep up with the A's, I guess, I'm trying to say. I will say, though, a lot of respect to Jeffrey Springs, who just pitched a phenomenal game for the A's. I think a lot of people definitely doubted him. I know I did. I thought this might be a decent game for the offense to put up some runs, and he hasn't given up any home runs. He hasn't given up any runs in general. And I'm not sure how he's in recently in recent starts, but this is the first good start he's had in a while. This is definitely a one he's going to want to remember this season. And I believe Jorge Barrosa is going to lead off the bottom of the 6th. We need Michael Soroka back, man. I'm hoping he comes back soon. Like, honestly, if Mitch Brown was pitching against like a better team, it could be a lot worse, honestly. It looks like the rookie Joshua Kuroda Grauer is actually going to be taken out of the game, as now Alika Williams moves to third, and Walton is going to go in at second. So might just be taking out the rookie for precautionary reasons, but Barossa is going to be down 0-1 to start this at bat. As Springs is still in the ballgame pitching. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a shot to left field. And that's going to be all the way to the wall. What a shot by Barossa. That's going to be an extra base hit. And that's going to be a leadoff double for Jorge Barossa in the 9th spot. As the D-backs hit a quick start to the bottom of the 6th. What a great hit by Barossa. He gave that one a ride. As we now have a runner on second base of no outs. Thought there was a chance that that ball might actually leave. Be a home run, but just gets to the warning track. That is the 11th double on the year for Jorge Barossa. And that's going to bring up Ketel Marte. The chance to get this run across. That's going to be a ball for Ketel Marte on the first pitch. Come on, D-backs. Now or never. I mean, not now or never, but we can't just keep getting runners in scoring position and doing nothing, you know? Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a swing and miss on the inside heater for strike one. And Jeffrey Springs is at 75 pitches, so as long as he still pitches decent, I think he might go into the 7th, potentially. But it all depends on this inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be outside for ball 2. It's going to be Ketel Marte, Perdomo, and Tim Tawa, the next 3 hitters. Including Marte. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be a shot by Ketel Marte. That's all the way back. And Ketel Marte ties the game in the bottom of the 6th. And that is how you answer back. Just like that. It is a 2-2 ball game. You knew it would happen eventually with the amount of home runs that Jeffrey Springs has given up. And Ketel Marte gets it done, and we have a tied ball game in the bottom of the 6th. That was a shot to left field. Woo! High up in the air, not even close. And Ketel watches it go out. Oh my goodness. And just like that, we have a tied ball game in the bottom of the 6th. And now it is a brand new ball game. I just mentioned that Jeffrey Springs might go into the 7th, depending on this inning, and just like that, they're gonna talk to Jeffrey Springs. They're probably warming up someone in the bullpen, but we have a brand new ball game, folks. Here we go. Love to see that. And you know, Ketel, he's been waiting for that this whole game. He's been very aggressive and at bat, swinging at pitches that may have not had the best location, but that one was easy. As soon as he saw that one, I know his eyes lit up. It looks like Springs is going to stay in the ball game. Just a pitching meeting to talk to him and calm him down, but that's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo. Hopefully keep this momentum going. And here's the first pitch to Perdomo. He's going to try laying down a bunt. That's a tough play for Alika Williams, and he cannot corral that barehanded. And that's going to be a base hit for Perdomo if they don't make it an error. And now we have a runner on first base with no outs. The wheels are now starting to turn. We have a leadoff double by Barossa, a home run to tie the game for Marte, and now Perdomo lays down a bunt to get on base. This is the best the offense has looked all game, and just like that, Jeffrey Springs is going to come out of the game now. Medina is going to come in to replace him. As Springs, he pitched a stellar game all game up until this point, but his time is now done. All right, it's going to be a commercial break as Medina comes in for relief, but just like that, the D-backs bats wake up. Pretty similar to the last game. You know, it took a while for the bats to warm up yesterday's the comeback win. Fortunately, we were only down 2 runs in this game, but love to see it. Love to see us tie in that game right there. Here we go. All right, here comes Luis Medina, who is 1-for-1 on the year. He has a 3.71 ERA. Played in 32 games this season, so definitely the guy. Definitely a guy that the A's rely on a lot. It looks like. I might be tweaking, but I feel like this is the guy that against the San Francisco Giants earlier in the season, and Tim Tebow was going to try laying down a bunt. He's going to miss that. Um, there was a game against the Giants where the A's were playing in San Francisco, and the Giants just came back and just hit home run after home run. I think there was a walk off home run. I think Medina was on the mound during that, so that kind of gives me some hope. As Medina's going to fire to first. Keep Perdomo close. Let's see if Tim Tawa still tries to lay down a bunt after that ball one, just trying to get Perdomo over to second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike, though. He does show bunt, but pulls back, but it is going to clip the outer portion of the zone for strike one. One the count. Medina is set. Here's the pitch. Ooh, and Tawa just got a piece of that on the bunt attempt. Still try to get it down, even though it's kind of curving towards him a little bit. But that's going to be strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Because I don't know, I feel like if you're going to have Tim Tawa in the 3 spot, you know, you kind of have to have confidence of his bat. I know you want to get the runner over to second, but it's kind of weird having your third hitter bunting. Here's the 1-2 pitch, though. That's going to be a swing and a miss on the changeup. And that's why I kind of wish you don't try bunting him over. As that's now going to be the first pitch of the inning. I don't know, I just feel like throwing down all those bunts, you know, you're kind of not giving your bat a chance, and then you get one chance to kind of make contact, and it's kind of just all or nothing. I feel like it's really hard for a hitter to do that. Here's the first pitch to Gabby Moreno. He's going to take a curveball for strike one with 1 out. And Chase Field is loud now. They are awake once again, just like yesterday's game. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a sinker Just gets the outside of the plate for strike 2. And right now, Gabby Lane is open right now. A lot of room on the right center side. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And they're going to go to first base, keeping Perdomo close once again. Crowd is not like that. And once again, Moreno down 0-2 in the count. Just looking to protect anything close. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a fastball outside for ball 1. And on deck is going to be Vargas. Had a nice base hit earlier in the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes, so to Gabby. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a changeup that misses low for ball 2. I'm feeling good right now about this inning. I feel like it's not over yet. I feel like we still got something left in the tank. Come on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Medina sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Fouls that one off to the right. Count remains the same. Two balls, 2 strikes once again. And Gabby's going to call time. All right, Gabby steps back in the box. It's still going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a slider well outside, not even really close. And it's now going to be a full count. And Moreno is making Medina work right now. All right. Big pitch right here. Full count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to just clip the bottom of the zone. And they're going to call it ball 4. That's going to get through the infield on the stolen ball attempt throw. Shea throws that to second, but no one's there to catch it. And it goes right into center field. And Perdomo not only takes second, but he's also able to move into third base. But the A's are going to challenge a strike 3 or the ball 4 call. I think they are going to win that challenge, unfortunately. It's going to be 2 outs with runners on with a runner on third. And unfortunately, it is going to clip the lower outer part of the zone for strike 3. As it's now going to be just a runner on third base with 2 outs. That was a crazy play altogether. And now the umps are coming together to talk about something. I mean, the broadcasters are talking about how it did take a bit of a time for Langeliers to challenge that, but I mean, he was making a play to second. I mean, I feel like you have to have a little bit of grace. You know, let him make the throw and then challenge it. He didn't do it immediately, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. I'm still having a discussion, so I'll let you guys know when the action continues. And it looks like the umps. The umpires are going to talk to Mark Kotze, the A's manager. But I'm not really sure what's going on. They were looking at the replay to see if there was possible interference, but there was no contact at all. With that being said, it looks like the play is going to continue without any calls being made. But nonetheless, here comes Vargas with a chance to score the go-ahead run on third base. He's 1 for 2 so far. Here's the first pitch to Vargas. That's going to be, oh, please challenge that. That is nowhere near the zone. And they don't give Vargas the challenge? Are you serious? Oh, that is awful, Blue. That is awful. That is awful. That is awful, bro. The D-backs do not get the challenge. They say that Vargas took too long to tap his head, and that pitch was not even close to the strike zone. It's now going to be 0-1 to Vargas. That is awful. Here's the 0-1 pitch, though. Vargas is going to chop that one foul. It's going to be 2 strikes now. Okay. I think what happened is that after showing the replay, Vargas did look at the dugout, and that's what happened. It's because he looked at the dugout. You're not allowed to look for help, so it kind of makes sense now. That's going to be ball 1. I thought it was just because of a timing thing, like he didn't do it quick enough, but he did look over to the dugout, which you're not supposed to do. That is against the rules, so I understand now. I understand. Okay. But man, that was a terrible call nonetheless. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vargas, and Perdomo is way down that line. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. As this is a huge at-bat right here. This is the difference between the D-backs taking a lead in the bottom of the 6th, or they remain in a tied game. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes to Vargas. Medina sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a shot. Just stays foul, though, on the left side. As the count remains the same, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And yeah, Perdomo is really far down the third base line right now. It's really surprising. But here's a 2 ball, 2 strike pitch, and that's gonna be a shot to center. And Bolte is just gonna get under it. Did not have to move much, and the game is gonna remain tied 2-2. Oh man, Ketel Marte hits a 2-run shot to tie the game in the bottom of the 6th. So nonetheless, we are all tied up heading to the top of the 7th. A lot of action happening that inning. And this game just got a lot more exciting, that's for sure. Alrighty. I'm not sure who leads it off for the A's. I want to say it's Langeliers, maybe? But nonetheless, we are now in a bullpen game. Both starting pitchers out of the ball game, and it's a pretty surprising scoreboard for sure. You know, with both pitchers coming into the ball game with both like at least a 6.0 ERA, you would definitely think there'd be a lot more runs in this game. But the A's got off to a quick start, but kind of slowed off after that. The D-backs got off to a slow start, but just recently got some runs across the board. But nonetheless, not a lot of runs so far. And if you are just joining the stream, welcome to the stream. It's been a pretty lackluster game so far for the D-backs. Pretty similar to yesterday, where they really didn't do anything until later on in the game. But luckily, we were not down 0-7 like the game yesterday. It was only a 2-run drought. As a D-backs bench coach, was definitely having a discussion with the ump, but like I mentioned, as soon as Vargas looks to the dugout for help, he should not get an attempt at a challenge. So, and that's going to bring in Kevin Ginkel, who has a 2.70 ERA, 3-2 record, and is definitely just trying to keep this game tied. As that's going to bring up, as I mentioned, Shea Langeliers, who's 0 for 2 so far in this game. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be an outside slider for ball 1. And he is 0 for 2 with a walk in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a swing and a miss on the slider. Oh, apparently it's raining. I mean, I can't even tell. 2 balls, 1 strike though for Shea Langeliers. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball. Past that diving Perdomo in the left field. A great effort by Perdomo, but just gets by him. And that's going to be a single for Shea, his first hit of the game. As there is now a runner on first base with no outs. What's up, Turkey Sandwich? That sounds so good right now, man. I do think Arizona's going to pull it off, but I'm not really sure how good. Ooh, and that's a shot right to Perdomo by Lawrence Butler, and Perdomo's not going to be able to field that cleanly as it actually bounces into center field after he mishandled that ball. That was a really tough play for Perdomo to corral. A one hopper that kind of jumps up, and he's just not able to field that cleanly. That's going to be a base hit for Butler now, as runners on first and second, with no outs, unfortunately. To answer your question, I was about to say that I'm not really sure how well the bullpen is for the A's. So I think that's going to definitely play a big factor in this game. But now runners on first and second and no outs, the A's have a great chance to take the lead. Here's the first pitch to Walton, who bunts it. That's going to be a pop-up, and Moreno catches it. Could have had a chance at a double play ball, but no one at second base for Moreno to throw it to. As there's a lot of action going on, especially on the first pitch. I can't even keep track. So unfortunately for the A's, that's a pop-up bunt. It's not a great bunt by Walton there. And that is going to be 1 out now, as the runners are forced to stay at first and second. I'm hoping the D-backs pull it off, though. I mean, if you are new here, that's what this channel is all about, is I am commentating as much Diamondback games as I can, and they are my team, so definitely rooting for them. That's going to be a first pitch swing and miss for Jonah Heim. He's going to be down 0-1. It's going to be Jonah Heim. Tommy White is on deck after that. Has another jam that the D-backs just have to get out of this. It's going to be no balls, 1 strike, though. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. That gets out of play. It's going to be 2 strikes now to Heim. But nonetheless, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you weren't here, this is my 3rd baseball game I'm commentating on the channel. So at this point, I'm just hoping for just some competitive games to commentate, and I can't really complain about this one. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. Just trying to get more practice, you know? And obviously, I would argue that the more competitive the game, the better practice for me, you know? 1 ball, 2 strikes. So here's the pitch to Heim. That's going to be another foul ball. He fouls that to the left side. as he's just protecting at this point. I mean, a boring game is still, commentating nonetheless, but obviously a lot more fun when the games are tied and tied late into the ball game. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes once again to Jonah Heim, but Ginkel's going to step off. Look, Langeliers back to second base. Once again, Langeliers is on second. Lawrence Butler's on first. Those are the runners. 1 out with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ooh, here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball. As Heim is just battling, swinging at anything close. And a turkey sandwich sounds so good, just like I mentioned. Change your name. I'm just kidding. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. Great take by Jonah Heim. I'm just kidding, though, my friend. That does sound really good, though. Right now, it is Kevin Ginkel. He has come in for relief to keep this game tied. Who's usually pretty good in leverage situations. I hope I didn't just jinx it, but that's going to be a swing and a miss at the high fastball. Jonah Heim is not happy with that. And not a great pitch to swing at, as that's now going to be out number 2. As Kevin Ginkel is 1 out away from getting out of this jam. As Ginkel's pitched pretty good, just some unlucky plays. Perdomo had a nice shot at the first one, but just couldn't get to it. Then the second one kind of ate him up. But here's Tommy White, who's 3 for 3, who has absolutely been the hottest hitter today in the A's lineup in the 7th spot. As that's going to be ball 1. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go, Turkey. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another outside pitch for ball 2. Misses on the slider. And if you're Kevin Ginkel, I don't blame you for not going to Tommy White right away. This guy has just been hitting the ball hard all game. The exit velocity has been insane on each hit. And here's a 2-0 pitch. Ooh. That's gonna clip the bottom corner. It's gonna be called ball 3, but Gabby's gonna challenge it. I think he's gonna win. Here's a challenge, and that is gonna clip the bottom of the zone in the corner. And that's gonna be strike 1, actually. Good challenge from Gabby. It's gonna be 2 balls, 1 strike for Tommy White. Great pitch from Ginkel there. Let's see if he can do it again. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a shot right to Ginkel. He's not able to feel it cleanly. He corrals it, and he throws it to first, and he gets the out at first base. Great recovery right there. Mark Coste's putting his hand up to the Youngs. They might want to challenge this. That was pretty close. And they're going to challenge it. Oh, no. That looked very close. I thought Tommy White might have beaten it. It took a while for Ginkel to recover and get that ball to first. And here's the replay. As it kind of misses the glove, hits Ginkel in the body, goes to his right side. Ooh. That's really close. I think he might have beaten it out by a step, unfortunately. Oh man, it was a 1-hopper to a great pick from Locklear at first base, but just with the distance that ball was away from Ginkel when he had to recover, and then with the throw, yeah, he beat him by a step. It's gonna be bases loaded. Bases loaded with 2 outs. I'm already gonna put the. And just like that, the umpires confirm it. The call has been overturned. The runner is safe at first. A run did not score. The runner stopped at third base. It wasn't that bad of a throw, or that far off from Ginkel. So the runner advanced to third base. Um, but he stopped at third. It's now going to be bases loaded, 2 outs, and here comes Jeff McNeil to pinch hit for, I believe, Aliko Williams. And now the pitching coach is going to come out to the mound to talk to Kevin Ginkel to kind of calm him down. J-Don 11. I don't know, my friend. I don't know. I mean, if you're watching your favorite team, you know, you don't want to say that they're not going to win, especially if there's still a great chance, you know. Obviously, I'll answer that. Here's this. How about this? I will answer this question after this at bat. Because if we get him out and it's still a tied ball game going into the bottom of the seventh, it's way different than being potentially down 4-2. You know. Looks like the pitching meeting is over though. And once again, Jeff McNeil is gonna pinch hit for Aliko Williams. It's gonna be 2 outs. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I did not update the outs. I'm so sorry. It is 2 outs. Bases loaded. And that's going to be a pitch in the dirt on the first pitch. First pitch slider for ball 1. I am so sorry. I did not update the outs. I'm just so... I'm so distracted by this game. Okay. The count is correct, though. It is going to be 1-0. 2 outs. Oh, man. And Shea Langeliers is the go-ahead run at third base. So not a lot of speed, but with a hit, it doesn't matter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a shot to center field. And that's going to be a blooper that drops into center field. And 2 runs are going to score as Langeliers and Lawrence Butler come in to score. As Jeff McNeil with a clutch top of the 7th hit. As he comes in and pitch hits and he comes through for the A's. As the A's now have a 4-2 lead. Oh no. Oh no, that is not what you want to see. As it's now going to be runners on the corners. With still 2 outs. Oh my gosh. Jeff McNeil just comes in and it wasn't a hard contact, but a blooper will do it, you know? Drops it into no man's land. That's going to bring up Henry Bolte, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2. He fouls that one off. It's going to be strike 1. Ah, man. Runners on the corners. Still 2 outs, though. And Ginkel is not able to get out of the jam. That's going to be a high fastball that Bolte fouls off. It's going to be 2 strikes now. And now to answer your question, J-Don, I don't know, man. The D-backs looked really good scoring-wise in the last inning before this, but before that, they looked just super dry and just not good at all. So if they kind of go back to that, it's not going to be good, honestly. It's honestly going to all come down to the bullpen. If they can maintain a 4-2 lead, I think we can come back, but it's all up to the bullpen. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Bolte. Big pitch right here. That's going to be in the dirt. It's going to go all the way to the backstop. Moreno can't find it. And that's going to score another run on the wild pitch. You cannot have that happen, Ginkel. It's now going to be a 5-2 ball game. Just as I was talking about the bullpen. Oh my gosh, bro. This is not a good inning. Honestly, it was a blockable ball for Moreno. But it just hits the chest protector and just shoots straight up to the sky. Honestly, just a hard play overall. And that's going to bring up... Oh, sorry. It's still going to be Henry Bolte. It's going to be a 2 balls, 2 strikes count. And he is going to foul that one off barely. Oh, man. Just not a great inning. We go into it tied and give up 3 runs. And the Athletics have 13 hits in this ball game. They are just... The bats are rolling today. All, credit to them, honestly. With the injuries they have, they need this. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Henry Bolte is gonna foul this one off. Actually, that is gonna be foul, but it's gonna be a pop up to Tyler Locklear at first base, and that is gonna be the third out of the top of the 7th inning. But unfortunately, 3 runs come across for the A's, and it's now gonna be a 5-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Super unfortunate for Kevin Ginkel. You know, a lot of it was not his fault, I will say. I think just some unlucky hits. You know, the first hit that gets on base, Perdomo dives for it just out of his reach. And the second one, just a hard pitch to a hard ball to corral on the one hopper. And then you have the tough play from Tommy White. That it was a playable ball, but Hinkle just not able to recover in time. Then you have the wild pitch. Oh man, there was still one on third base. There was. The runner from second moved up to third base on the wild pitch, where the runner did score, but there was also a runner on second base. So luckily, it doesn't get any worse. It's still 5-2. It could have been 6-2, but I don't know, man. It's not looking good now. Honestly, unless the D-backs have some comeback magic like they did yesterday, I don't know, man. But I appreciate each and every one of you for who's active in the chat right now. I'm super sorry for I'm sorry, Potato. Not looking good for your parlay, my friend. I think Nolan Arenado is going to lead off the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Arenado, Locklear, and Waldschmidt. And for those who did join the stream late, Nolan Arenado hit his 2,000th career hit, which is an amazing milestone for the guy. Future Hall of Famer, obviously. And let's see what he can do in this at bat. This is a first pitch to him. It's going to be a curveball. That's strike 1. I gotta calm down. 0-1 the count. Medina is still on the mound for the A's. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a pop-up, though. Alika's gonna get under that. Or I'm sorry, Walton's gonna get under that. And that's gonna be out number 1. As it looks like Walton has moved to third base. Jeff McNeil moves to second. I know, right? He is just such an excellent player. You just love to see him do well. I know he's kind of fizzled out. He hasn't been the same player, that he was in Colorado, obviously. But when he's on, man, he is just so fun to watch. Here comes Tyler Locklear, though. That's going to be ball 1 in the dirt. Tyler Locklear 0 for 2. He grounded out, hit a fly out in his first 2 at-bats. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a fastball right down the middle that Locklear takes for strike 1. All right, 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Here's the pitch. It's going to miss inside. Another fastball for this time. It's going to be ball 2. All right, 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a swing and miss on the curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So, J Don, I go live pretty much every Diamondbacks game. I actually just started, like, 3 days ago. I'm not going to lie. This is a fairly new channel, actually. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And my goal is to... I have D-backs TV right now, so my goal is to do a live commentary for every single D-backs game that I can. The only ones that I won't be doing is whenever it's on Apple TV or Peacock, like national exclusive games or whatever. Those games I won't be able to watch, but if the game is on D-backs TV, I will be tuning in and commentating it live. Here's the full count pitch to Locklear. He's going to foul that one off. Um, but yeah, once again, this is a fairly new channel. I think my first D-backs game was literally this past Friday. So just getting started with this stuff. Honestly, here's the full count pitch. That's going to be fouled off the catcher. Hopefully he's okay. So if I stutter a bit, if I don't do the best talking wise, or if I forget to do stuff on the scoreboard, I am still fairly new to this, so I apologize. But I appreciate the support. Appreciate the love, man. Um, who is your team, by the way? I can kind of see your profile pic, but let me get a closer look. I can't tell that's a ball player. It's not your fault. It's just really small on my screen. I can't see the pictures that well. 3-2 is the count to Locklear. Medina is set. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball. Yeah, so unfortunately there is a subscription for D-backs TV. I think it's essentially the same as it is for every team that's a part of MLB TV, where it's at like $20 a month. Um, but I'm hoping to pay that for the rest of the season. Here's another full count pitch. Locklear is gonna drive that to center, but Bolte, ooh, he kind of drifted to that one. That one kind of looks scary for him, but he gets to it in time. That's gonna be out number 2. Are you talking about today's game? I didn't quite see who the Rangers were playing today. Here comes Ryan Waldschmidt. That's going to be a sinker that just clips the bottom of the zone. I'll look at the game after this at bat. Waldschmidt is going to be down 0-1 though. Here's the pitch. Ooh, that's a drive to center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Great job by Waldschmidt though. As there is some life to this inning. It's going to be a base runner on first base with 2 outs, it looks like. I'll take a quick look at the scoreboard before the next batter comes up. So the Rangers played the White Sox. Yeah, dude, the White Sox, when that lineup is on fire, they are insane. Here comes Barroso. That's an outside pitch up and away for ball 1. Like, you got Colson Montgomery, you got Mirakami. I probably said that wrong. 1-0 pitch to Barroso. Here's the pitch. That's going to be an inside curveball for ball 2. They have some good young players too. I like Sam Antonoshi, I want to say. I know that's probably wrong too. Oh, Miguel Vargas is having an insane year this year too. Just home run wise, he is crushing the ball. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go against the White Sox right now either. So it's gonna be 2 balls, no strikes. So to Barroso, 2 outs, run on first base. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a strike. Just clips the inside part of the zone for strike 1. I will say though, it is nice seeing the White Sox doing so well after how they've been like what the past decade or so. Like seeing them do well, it's definitely refreshing. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Barossa. He throws his bat up in the air as if that hit him, and he might have just been throwing the bat just to get out the way. He does. Gonna be a ball 3 to make it 3-1 the count. Another nice at bat for Barossa. Had a nice walk is earlier in the game. 3 balls, 1 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch though. And they're gonna call that a strike. Just clip the outside. D-backs still have 1 challenge, but I don't know if it's worth burning yet. Yeah, Vargas has been so consistent, dude, especially with the home runs. I feel like if the pitching can kind of be solid for the White Sox, they're going to be dangerous. All right, full count for Barossa. Big pitch right here. 2 outs. Medina sets. Here's the pitch. There goes the runner. That's going to be a ground ball. Great play at first by Tommy White. He snags that one on the grounder, and that's going to be out number 3. The end of the 7th inning as we go to the top of the 8th. The D-backs, honestly, like, in this game, I know there's still 2 innings left, but the bats just have not been that great to where, and it's crazy because they literally came back down 7 runs yesterday, but I don't know if they have it in them today. Um, yeah, we are gonna go to the top of the 8th. Let me see how the Rangers are doing though. So the Rangers, they're doing pretty solid. They're right at 500, 50 and 50. Chasing the Mariners for the division, it looks like. I try my best to keep around with every team in the league, but obviously when it comes to the American League, I don't follow them as much just because, the D-backs don't really have to, in terms of like the wild card race, they don't have to fight with them. But yeah, right now the Rangers and the Mariners are neck and neck for that number 1 spot in the AL West. And wow. Dude, did you see? I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but Boston is on a 14 winning streak right now. They were like 10 games below 500, and now they literally have the 3rd spot in the wild card. I am like, I cannot believe that. Like, good for them, but that is insane. And with that, looks like Jonathan Loizaga is gonna come in relief for the D-backs. 2.13 ERA, 2-2 record. He's been very solid this season, honestly. Looking just to keep this a 5-2 lead, just and give it up to the D-backs offense and see what they can do. So here we go. Here comes Jacob Wilson to lead off the top of the 8th. He's 2 for 4. That's going to be a strike in there for strike 1. Talking about Mitch Bratt. 0-1 on the count to Wilson. It's going to be 1-1 the count. Jacob Wilson 2 for 4. He's had a very solid day at the plate, especially with that solo home run he had earlier in the game. That's going to be a chopper, though, to Perdomo. It's going to be, actually, Arenado's going to get a tough play and gets it just in time to first base. Great play by Arenado. That was a tough play to barehand that, but gets him just in time. I mean, he honestly didn't pitch bad. He just kind of got in some tough situations with getting runners on base. He did give up 2 home runs though. He honestly did fine. I don't think he had a bad game. I mentioned it earlier, but that's gonna be a first pitch strike to Soderstrom. His delivery just really scares me, because he will literally fly in the air and like catch air as soon as he releases the ball, and I'm just afraid he's gonna land awkwardly and hurt himself. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's gonna be a fly ball. Tough play for Tim Tawa. He cannot get there in time. That drops for a base hit for Soderstrom. That's gonna be a runner on first base, so 1 out. The 14th hit for the I almost said Oakland, for the Athletics, as they are hitting the ball today. Yeah, that's the only thing about Mitch Bratt, is I'm just concerned about his delivery. I mean, obviously, he's an MLB pitcher, so obviously he's doing something right. It works for him. But there was one uh pitch that he threw today where he kind of almost took a tumble, and I mean if it works, it works, but that's the only thing I have to say about him, I guess. He didn't do bad today though. Other than the 2 home runs. That's gonna bring up Shea Langeliers, who is down 0-1. And that's gonna be a ball. Gary throws down to first. Soderstrom gets back in time though. It's gonna be 1 ball, 1 strike. Langeliers. All right, 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch from Loizaga. Gonna be a swing and miss on the low changeup for strike number 2. I mean, I would assume the Texas Rangers are going to be buyers at the deadline, um, given their record and how close they are to that, #1 spot in the division. Um, is there anybody that you think the Rangers might get, or you're hoping they get, pitching wise, or somebody to beef up the lineup? Maybe 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 Langeliers. Loizaga is set. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strike 3. My voice is cracked. That's going to be strike 3 as it's fouled right into Moreno's glove. That's going to be out number 2. And with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Lawrence Butler, who came in a pinch hit after the Colby Thomas injury, and he's 2 for 2. And here's the first pitch to him. He's first pitch swinging. That's going to be a ground ball right to Vargas. Backhanded plays, flips to second for the force out. And that's going to end the top of the 8th inning. Great job by Loizaga to keep the lead the same, 5-2. And we go to the bottom of the 8th as Ketel Marte will lead it off, who had the 2-run shot earlier to tie the game. Hopefully he can do something similar. And yeah, we headed to the bottom of the 8th, 5-2. All right. It's getting a little late in the game. Hopefully we can do something here. I mean, it's only game 1 in the series, but we cannot drop this series. So anything can happen, obviously, in baseball. So that's why, like, in the National League wildcard race is so close. You have literally 3 teams right now are a half game back from the Cardinals. We have us, Miami, and Pittsburgh. The Nationals are not far behind us and them with 1.5 games back. San Diego's 3 games back. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, every game matters, and so especially against the teams that are not doing so hot. No disrespect to the A's, you absolutely want to win every single one you can. And here comes Ketel Marte to the plate. Jose Jose Corniel. I'm trying to think of that name. I'm not familiar with him. All right, here comes Ketel Marte. Here comes Suarez in relief for the A's. Looks like Jose Suarez with a 4.56 ERA. He's 1-2 on the year. Is Corniel a starting pitcher? As Ketel Marte is up 1-0. He swings and misses at that changeup, though, as it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. I saw Rockers pitching tomorrow, I believe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Marte. And that's going to be a blooper. Pokes it into left field. Not very deep, and that's going to be out number one. Soderstrom gets that easily. Not a great pitch to swing it, honestly. I think Marte was just trying to do something but it's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo, who's 2 for 3 today. Much better day at the plate today, as he's been kind of struggling recently. Suarez sets. Here's the first pitch to Perdomo. Long time Suarez is waiting, but here's the pitch now. And that's going to be a slider that misses down for ball one. I see. 1-0 pitch. That's going to be another one in the dirt. Going to be ball two for Perdomo. As at this point, down 3 runs. And we only have, what, 5 outs left in this game? When it comes to our offense. Just got to get on base. Any way you can. Alright, 2 balls, no strikes. Here's a pitch. That's going to be right down the middle for strike one on the fastball. Two balls, one strike. Perdomo's ahead. And he's going to call time. If we can just get a small rally going, it could get interesting, but it's all about these next few at-bats, honestly. Alright, here's it. Once again, 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Appreciate that, Jadon. You're the man, brother. Alright, it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper right at the Wilson at shortstop. That's going to be fielded cleanly. Thrown on the first for the out. 2 outs. Not looking good. Oh, man. And you kind of joined before the starting pitcher for the A's got taken out, but Jeffrey Springs not only came in with a 6... I mean, you're probably familiar with him because he's in the division, but he came in with a 6-point-something ERA, has given up the most home runs as a starting pitcher, and we were only able to put up 2 runs. Like, that's what I'm so disappointed about, you know? That's going to be ball 1 to Tim Tawa, though. Last chance in this bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch to Tawa. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Once again, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Tawa. That's going to be a check swing foul. Maybe strike number 2. You know, I didn't look at Springs last game. That's probably what I should have done. I didn't really get a chance to look at his last game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Tawa. And that's a pop-up. Kind of gets to left field. Soderstrom's able to get under it, though, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the bottom of the 8th. The D-backs running out of time, running out of outs, and it is not looking good for Arizona. As we go to the top of the 9th inning, D-backs still down 5-2. I'm trying to find a balance of, like, looking up stats, because for the first 2 games, I was going really hard on the stats and looking up the stats for every single player. But then I found myself not using them as much. So maybe I'll just use stats for the starting pitchers. That kind of makes sense. It looks like the last game that Springs pitched in was against Detroit on the 8th of July. He went he only went about 4 innings and gave up 6 runs. So and the appearance before that, he did go against the Dodgers, but he also gave up 6 runs. So the past 2 starts have been not great at all for Springs. That's what's so disappointing is that we're not able to make it 3 bad starts in a row and only score 2 against him. All right. Hopefully we can just throw up a 0 in this last inning and then get some kind of crazy rally going in the bottom of the 9th. But other than that, I'm sorry, Potato. Not looking too hot. Appreciate everyone tuning in, though. This is honestly the most active stream I've had since starting these games. Yeah, the D-backs play tomorrow. Same time, I believe. Tomorrow the A's got Perkins on the mound, who also has a 6+ ERA. 6.87. He's 2-5 on the year. I'm hoping we were able to hit better against him, but we'll see. And it's gonna be Walton up the bat to start the top of the 9th. He's gonna be down 0-1. As Brandon Garcia comes in the pitch for the D-backs, that's gonna be another foul ball. 0-2. Yeah, I know, right? It's so disappointing. Like, how does that even happen? I no disrespect to Jeffrey Springs. I know he is an MLB pitcher, so he is going to perform eventually. But it's just unfortunate that he couldn't have a bad one more time. All right, but Walton is down 0-2 early. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the sweeper. That's going to be strike 3. 1 out for Brandon Garcia. I know, my guy. It's not good. Here comes Jonah Heim, the switch hitter. He's batting from the right side this time. He's going to foul off that cutter. Is there like a team in the AL West that like the Rangers or like Ranger fans like absolutely hate? Obviously the Diamondbacks, we're not too fond of the Dodgers, I'll be honest. But I'm trying to think of like, here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to miss for ball 1. Trying to think of like a rival that the Rangers have that like they just cannot stand. I got you, bro. No worries. That's another foul ball. It's gonna be 1-2. Appreciate that, Jay Don. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 9. I'm trying to say Eastern time, 9:40 Eastern time. Or whenever the game starts for the D-backs tomorrow in Eastern format. That's gonna be a chopper to the pitcher. He's gonna have to recover that quick. Ooh, you fire that thing the first. Pretty high throw. Locklear had to jump up for that. Definitely misses the tag, but honestly, great effort though by Garcia on the mound. That wasn't bad at all. He fired that thing to first, but bit of a high throw, and Jonah Heim's able to get in there safely. Great effort though. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm stupid. Houston, of course. Of course. Why did I not know that already? All right. Yeah, dude. I don't. Especially being in the same state, that makes so much sense. All right, it's gonna bring up Tommy White, who's 4 for 4 with 4 singles, 4 singles, and the kid from LSU is just going crazy today. He is down 0-2 though, with a runner on first base and 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's gonna be a ground ball to second. Possible double play. Flip the second for 1, and that's gonna be out number 2 at first base. Great double play right there. They maintain the score at 5-2. And here we go. If the D-backs have anything in them, another comeback in them, it has to happen here. As we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. A still up 5-2. Here we go. I think it's going to be Arenado, Locklear, Waldschmidt. The Islanders. Oh, yeah. Well, the D-backs offense has definitely run out of steam towards the end of this ball game, but and I'm not even bummed out that we didn't like crush Jeffrey Springs on the mound. It's more just about I think this should have been a win. And now I'm kind of worried about tomorrow's game. Another pitcher that has a 6+ ERA, and after this showing, it's kind of scary. I mean, the A's have 15 hits today. D-backs have 7. Here comes the left-hander, Hogan Harris. I do like that name. That's like a superhero name right there. He has a 3.38 ERA in 46 games this season. He is 6 for 10 in save opportunities, so see what he can do here. And my bad, it's actually going to be Gabriel Moreno. It's going to be Moreno, Vargas, Arenado for this inning. And that's going to be a first pitch strike on the fastball. As we just need base runners right now. Moreno is 0 for 3. Not had a great game today. That's going to be in there for another strike on the fastball. Appreciate you, J-Don, but no pressure at all, honestly. I know that obviously the D-backs are not your team. So if you just want to come in and hang out, I'll be here around the same time. And I'm going to try to... Hold on, 0-2 pitch to Moreno. Just fouls that one off. I'm going to try to be courteous of people who don't live in my time zone, so I'm just going to say, like, in Eastern, what time I'll be live at. So honestly, as long as you just look at when the D-backs game starts, I'll be live around that time, so. But, no balls, 2 strikes. Moreno's battling, just trying to stay alive. Just got to swing at anything close to him. Keep this at bat alive. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball down the line. That's going to be another foul ball. Appreciate that, Jadon. That's what it's all about, this channel. I'm just trying to see what I can do commentating wise. And that's going to be another foul ball down the line as Moreno's just not giving Harris an easy out right here. It's going to be the 6th pitch of the at-bat. I appreciate that, Jadon. That means a lot, honestly. Appreciate the love. And honestly, I'm just like you. I will talk baseball. Obviously, I'm going to commentate what's going on in the game, but I also love talking baseball, so... As Moreno, I look down, and that's going to be a blooper, It's gonna get past Jacob Wilson's glove. That's gonna get in the center field for a base hit. And we have life. We have life. And Moreno is gonna get on first base after the blue pitch single to center field. I thought Jacob Wilson might be able to corral that and run that one down, but just gets out of his reach. And what a great at bat from Gabriel Moreno, who's down 0-2 in the count, is able to battle back and just get a hit out of it. And just like that, there is a runner on first base with no outs, and here comes Eldiarmo Vargas. He's gonna take a first pitch curveball down low for strike one. All right. Don't get me worked up, D-backs, and then don't do nothing. So come on now. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there right down the middle for strike two. And very similar to the Moreno at bat, as Vargas is now down 2 strikes right away. He's going to have to battle here. No balls, 2 strikes. Harris is set. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul. Pops that one off. Pops that one out of play. Count remains the same, 0-2. Right now, Hogan Harris. I don't know if he's the closer for the A's, but he's pitching right now. 0-2 pitch. That's going to miss inside on the curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It says this year that Harris is 6 for 10 on save opportunities, so he might be their actual closer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch to Vargas. That's going to be another one in the dirt. Another curveball. Low inside for ball 2. It's gonna take a lot to get 3 runs, but hey, no outs. We're still looking good. As Nolan Arenado waits on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Vargas. And he swings at the high fastball. Nowhere near the strike zone. He chases that. And that's going to be strike 3 for the first out. Not a great pitch to swing at, as Vargas gives in and cannot hold off on the high heat. And that's going to be out number 1 in the inning. Here comes Nolan Arenado, who's 1 for 3 so far. 1 out for runner on first. Here's the first pitch. That's going to miss low inside. Thought it might have clipped the corner of the strike zone, but that's going to be ball 1. Surprised he didn't challenge that, honestly. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Nolan. That's going to be in the dirt. Another curveball. It's Shea Langeliers. Probably butchering that last name, but he is just doing a great job at blocking these pitches in the dirt. Curveball after curveball. And he's just being a shield. Alright, Nolan Arenado is up ahead. 2-0 in the count. Hogan Harris is set. Here's the pitch. And he's going to take a hack at the low fastball. He's going to miss at that one. Strike 1. Two balls, 1 strike is the count. Here's the pitch. Ooh, fouls that one off. Kind of check swings that one, but it fouls that one off. It's going to be 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking so hot. Honestly, if we had like another runner on base, I'd feel a lot better. But especially if Arenado cannot get on base here, it's not looking good at all. Tyler Locklear is going to be on deck. He's 0 for 3, the first baseman. All right, here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside. Great take by Arenado, and that's going to be a full count now. If Arenado can get on base somehow, this would be amazing. And Nolan is going to call time right now. There is currently 1 out right now. Full count. Here's the pitch. And he's going to take a hack at the curveball. Comes up empty. And that's going to be out number 2. Think it might be over, gentlemen. That's going to bring up Tyler Locklear as the Diamondbacks are down to their final out. And here's the first pitch to Locklear. That's going to be a curveball high and outside for ball 1. Moreno is going to move up to second base on that pitch. He does still second. But it is going to be 1-0 count to Locklear. Hogan Harris is set. And here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball, just foul for strike 1. 1-1 the count. As at this point, Locklear just needs to get on base any way he can. He's 0 for 3, so hopefully he's due, but 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to almost hit him in the kneecaps. That was a very inside pitch right there. It's going to be ball 2. Now going to be 2 balls, 1 strike. And Ryan Waldschmidt will be on deck after Locklear if he can get on base somehow. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss inside as well, as it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Great play discipline from Locklear right here, especially in the being the last out and everything. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Ooh, did he check his swing? And Locklear holds up and gets on base somehow with a 2-out walk. Beautiful, beautiful at bat right there. As it's now going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs. So here comes Ryan Waldschmidt, the left fielder. He's 1 for 3 so far. Bacon, it's looking that way. There's a little bit of a chance. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. I mean, a home run oh my gosh, I can't even talk. A home run right here, I'd probably pass out. But unless a home run happens, it's definitely gonna take a string of hits or just a string of people getting on base. But it's not over yet. Definitely not over yet. And Corbin Carroll, he's getting a helmet on just in case. That's kind of surprising. He hyperextended his elbow yesterday, so I don't think we should put him out there unless we absolutely need him. But nonetheless, Ryan Waldschmidt looking to keep the inning going. He is 1 for 3 in this ball game. And here's the first pitch to Waldy. Here we go. Oh, awful call. Come on. You gotta challenge that, Waldschmidt. So an inside curveball gets called a strike, but that was not a strike at all. Way inside. Not even close, but that's going to be strike 1, unfortunately. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be an oppo, and just gets foul. Look good off the bat, but goes out of play, unfortunately. It's going to be now no balls and 2 strikes as the D-backs are down to their last strike. As now Waldschmidt just has to swing at anything close, just protect the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ball. A fastball that's low. They call it a ball. But the A's are going to challenge it. I think it might have clipped the bottom of the zone. If it does, this game is over. And it just clips the bottom of the zone. Oh, man. And that's going to be strike 3 for Ryan Waldschmidt. He strikes out looking. And the Athletics are going to win this game 5-2. After their offense was on fire, honestly. Getting 15 hits in this ball game. As the D-backs are only able to muster 2 runs in this ball game against a pitcher who, of a 6+ ERA, as I mentioned, has given up the most home runs as a starting pitcher. Definitely a guy you want to do more damage against. So I was pretty disappointed. Tomorrow we have... I don't believe they've announced the pitcher for tomorrow's game, for the D-backs at least, but we have Perkins, who is also a pitcher with a 6+ ERA for the A's. So I'm hoping we can muster more than 2 runs against him at least. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream. Shout out Jay Don, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for subbing and tuning in. Gonna be back at the same time tomorrow, as it's gonna be another 9:40 Eastern start time for the D-backs game. Hoping to bounce back and get a win so we can at least, split this series and that leads into like a game 3 win potentially, but just not a great offensive showing today. But with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream. This was like the most viewed stream I've had so far. 84 views. 14 of y'all in here right now. Okay. What y'all know about baseball? I'm just kidding. I like I said, I just want to talk baseball honestly. If the game isn't exciting, or my focus is never gonna 100% be on the game that I'm commentating. So if you guys want to talk baseball in the chat, let me know. And yeah, I'm hoping they do, Jay Don. I'm really hoping they do, and I hope the Rangers bounce back as well. Who's pitching for Chicago tomorrow? Let's see. The Chicago White Sox they got Schultz on the mound, who's a 5.60 ERA. So the Rangers definitely have a chance to bounce back and do some damage against him. And the Rangers have Kumar Rocker. I think the Rangers have a better shot too. So hopefully both our teams they do better tomorrow. But if any of you guys have to leave or take off, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow around the same time. I will be ending the stream shortly, just checking in on the chat. But my last thoughts on this game, just once again, we get runners in scoring position and we just can't really do anything with it, and especially against a pitcher that's been struggling recently. Definitely a guy that you just want to bounce on and attack, pause, and just do some more damage in 2 runs. I mean, and those 2 runs only came on the Ketel Marte home run. Definitely want to get more hits going, string some more runs together. I think Mitch Bratt, he didn't do a bad job today, other than the 2 solo shots he gave up to Wilson and the rookie Joshua. Udar Garara, I forget his last name. Hoping he's okay after taking that crotch shot. That was tough. If y'all missed that, that was not a fun at bat for him. I'll tell you that right now. But hopefully he recovers and is good. But yeah, I'm not sure who the D-backs have on the mound tomorrow. They have not announced that yet, so that's also going to be interesting. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. That's probably going to be it for me when it comes to this live stream. Everybody who is active in the chat today, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate each and every one of you. This, like I said, this is actually the most active this chat has been. So I wasn't just commentating the game by myself, which is still great nonetheless. That's what this channel is just commentating these games. But having you guys here today was actually really cool, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in today. I hope you guys take care tonight. Have a safe night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Take care. And bye.